everybody, this is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Scoop News. Let's see. This should do it. Okay, there we go. The strength is back up. For some reason it's weird when you do these live shows, you need a stream and you need to turn off your firewall and virus scanner. Alright, so here we are. Let me share this on a few pages. This is the Scoop News. Basically, I go out and I cover the local news happening within Sarasota County, and it is live. It is international. We're an international show, so you could ask me any questions you want at any time, and there it is. This is what I got to share. And if I know the answer, I'll answer. Some people just like to come on here and basically make a comment. Somebody may ask a question. One question I've been getting a lot while it's on my head while I'm doing this is the Venice yesterday. They shut down 41 over in the area of Patriots Park. Still no information has come out on that incident, so that's hence why I haven't put anything out. Once I do see some information come out, I'll share it. I thought the city would have proactively put something out by now, but just haven't seen it. And let me share it with one more page. Alright, how about that weather today though, folks? I tell you what, I decided to go surfing, and I first went to the gym, got in a nice workout, went down because I wasn't sure if there would be waves. There were. Not that great of waves, but it was cold. I was freezing out there. Especially when you're not used to the cold weather. It's a real shocker to you. So I don't think the waves are dying pretty fast. They weren't that great. Who knows if they'll still be up. And that's your surf forecast for today. All right, let's go ahead and get started on your local news. The shooting investigation. I actually just put this video out. Actually, let me go back to the screen. I just put it out. Basically, it was an update on the individual who was shot in the incident. They gave out his identity. There's no status on if he's okay or not. Basically, with HIPAA rules out there, medical HIPAA rules, they can't really disclose that information to anybody. I don't know if we will find out. He was shot, I believe, 3 times. The biggest issue here with that one is, where are the individuals? The 3 African Americans that were in hoodies that shot him and took off. And it's really weird how it happened. He was at a baby shower with about 40 people. He came outside for some reason. Not sure if he was summoned by them, if he knew them or what. He came outside, and somehow in between all this, he got shot by 3 individuals. So if you have any information, they're looking for it so that they can try to bring the situation to a close and get these three punks off the streets. Now, Legacy Trail. This meeting is going on today at 5 o'clock. It's going to be right here in Laurel, the Laurel Civic Association. They call it the Sandra Sims territory. My daughter always calls during my live shows, which makes me wonder, is she watching the live show? But they're going to go out, they're going to cover the Legacy Trail and a lot of the information that you want on it. This one is primarily with the overpass on Laurel Road. It's basically already got done. I mean, the money's there. They spent the money to change the sewer. It was a couple million more than they thought. I think the total is over $2 million. I've covered it before with that new bridge going over. A lot of individuals have said, hey, why the hell are we spending all this money? They call it a $2 million project, but that doesn't count the sewer moving and some other stuff. It was $500,000 just to design this bridge. And so one individual said, why are we doing this? Why can't we just sit at the light like it's set up now and just, wait for the light to change? The other issue with this bridge that's a concern is people with may find it difficult to ride up the bridge because the grade that it's going to be going at. And that's the only other issue that I've heard about. So, if you want to get out there, if you want to be heard, if you want to interject your opinion, I'm not sure how much it will matter, because actually after this next week, I think they're actually starting the construction on it. So that's how far ahead they are with that project. The city of Northport put out this thing. It's always good to know we've had some cool weather. It was pretty cold last night. A lot of people are going to pull out space heaters, and they're trying to limit any burning, any house getting burnt down. I think somebody even came on and said, yeah, basically my husband works for a company, I forget what kind of company, and he gets calls on this type of issues all the time with the heaters. They said, turn on your heater, you might smell something, you might smell burning smell that you shouldn't be alarmed when you hear it or smell it. It's just the dust possibly settling on the different elements. I know when I turn on my heat for the house for the first time, I often smell that smell, and it's a little weird. They said the fires from small space heaters is always an issue, and you should be cautious and remembering all that. And again, I see a few more people have come on, so it is a live show. If you got any questions, feel free to ask away. If you want to make any statements, go ahead and make any statements that you want to. If you notice, I'm dragging a little bit because not a lot of prep in it today. I had a ton of stuff to do with the business that actually puts food on the table, medical business, and in addition to me sneaking off and doing the surfing earlier today. Detweilers, this was interesting. It was a thorough article, but they basically talked how a lot of individuals within the community, I don't want to put that in the background because it's me. You don't want to look at two pictures of me. Basically, how a lot of people are turning towards organic food or better quality health food with places like Detweiler. My biggest issue with Detweiler is, and I think I said it in the video report, I walked in there and it was just so jam-packed, and I don't like that. I'm in there buying groceries. I don't want to fight with 10 people to grab a banana or an apple, for that matter. So I never made it too far, maybe 15 feet in there, and then I said, you know what? I got to turn around. I don't want to deal with this crap right now. So I did, and I left there. Now they're opening a new location in Manatee because they have two in Sarasota. They have the one in Venice, and they're opening up one right up there in Manatee. And then after the Manatee one, they said they're looking at opening a third one or fifth, which is going to be down in Northport. The article covers how, like I said, that move towards organic, and there is that move. Like Aldi is transitioning to be more organic, better quality, but with it you're going to pay a better price. And why is that? Why is it that we got to pay a premium to get quality food? If you don't pay a premium, you're stuck with crap, processed food, chemical laden food. If any of you guys listen to Food Babe, Google her on the internet. Food Babe, she is the one that got the Subways to take the chemical out that's in exercise mats. She's the one behind that and a lot of other initiatives. And it's just amazing the amount of crap that's in a lot of these foods. I was eating a Ritz cracker. I don't know if I still have it up here somewhere. My wife's like, didn't you see how the crap that's in them? It's almost like I get my daughter Cheez-Its, I used to all the time, and they're just laden with chemicals, and they're one of the worst things for them. And I'm like, well, what is good for you? And to get the food that is good for you, you got to go and pay a premium price, of which most of us can't afford. Most Americans can't afford that. And that's why a lot of the wealthy live longer, they look better, because they can afford to go out and get the quality food and live that quality life. But it shouldn't be that way. When I'm in Italy, in Calabria, everybody's poor. It's like a third world country. You know, where my sisters and my dad's dead now though, but he was born down there, and Calabria, Italy. And when you go in there, I was telling someone, there's a Hilo, waiting for the Hilo email. When I go in there, nothing. Okay. When I go in there to the meat market, they got fresh pigs and everything just hanging up there, and the food is so fresh, the quality is so much different. I actually end up losing 20 pounds there because I'm not eating all the processed garbage food that's there, even though I eat more. But it's a world of difference. Now, if they can do it, and most people in Calabria and San Giovanni, a few other where my family's from, are poor. But they eat the same quality standard food that we used to get as kids. And probably even my mom even got better food when she was even younger. So how come we don't have that now? Why is our access to that cut off now? It's not cut off, but why do we have to pay a premium to Whole Foods, to Trader Joe's, to Aldi, to Lucky's and Sprouts, and all these different places? And it shouldn't be that way. And that's enough for that rant. You guys are probably like, okay, we've probably heard enough of that rant. Let's move on. And move on we shall. The next one is about Bradenton. Is about the ferry. And I'll say this a couple times, guys, because new people come on all the time. It's amazing. You'll sit up there and you'll see, oh, there's only 20 people. Like right now, 20 people. But somehow I end up with like 800 to 1,000 people that end up watching it. If you have a question or comment, feel free to just type it in there. If you just want to say hi, just say hi. And I don't see any yet. So we're good. The ferry. I had some people asking me about the ferry boat coming across and going from Sarasota to Bradenton. They're doing this. It was approved and it was supposed to, they thought, be in place by November. That didn't occur. So now they're looking at sometime next year. They still don't have a timeline. But I thought it was interesting that the guy spent $3 million already for this venture. And I just don't know how he's going to recoup that. Because if you look at the ticket pricing, it's what, 12 and some change to 22 and some change. Not sure what the difference is. What, do you get a window for 22? You don't get a window for 22 or for 12. But it goes to Bradenton Beach, for some of that traffic. And I just don't know how much traffic that will alleviate off the streets going from Sarasota to Bradenton Beach. Because I got to tell you, I can't imagine a lot of people in Sarasota saying, oh, I want to go to Bradenton Beach because that's a better beach. Now, Siesta, they're supposed to add that to it. They might save some money there because going from Sarasota to Siesta, I'd rather grab a boat that leaves every half hour on the dot and just take a boat there with all the parking and congestion going on there. But there is concern with the parking where the boat wants to take off and where they want to land in both locations, Bradenton and Sarasota. I know that was a concern. And basically, they want it to go right because they don't want a lot of issues that can be brought up to the government, and the government can come in and say, well, you're shut down, and they're going to be sitting there saying, wait, we just spent $3-5 million and we're out of it. It's kind of like, and this does happen. You guys might say, oh, that doesn't. It does happen. There was a sky jumping company here in Venice. And he was approved. The FAA made it basically, told the city of Venice, you have to approve it. There's no way around it. And they approved it. And the guy was doing his skydiving, and people were on tandem, and they were landing at Venice High School and all over the place instead of at the airport where they were supposed to be. And somehow during this process, he transitioned or sold the company to some other individual and didn't contact the government or anything like that. So it's a little bit more different than this boat situation. But she went to him, the city council, because they were upset about the tandem jumps landing in the wrong locations, which was under the previous owner. They didn't even know that there was a new owner. And basically, they were going to take away the permit, the ordinance, whatever it is, because of the company's inability to jump appropriately at the airport. And you see this all the time. And I see it maybe because I watch I constantly watch these county and city meetings, which most of you guys don't. And you probably should if you want. It's funny. I was listening to a radio show. And sorry, if I keep looking over here, it's because I'm refreshing to see if anyone's got any comments. I was listening to a radio show, and they were talking about how government goes out and does all this stuff, and they do it because a lot of people will sit on Facebook, they'll sit on Twitter, and they'll just sit there and they're these keyboard warriors, these keyboard badasses, and instead of just actually writing their legislators, writing their local city of Venice, city of Sarasota, Sarasota County. This was an argument towards more of a national issue where they wanted people to write the Congress members, which ours would be, if you're Venice South, Rooney; if you're Sarasota North, it would be Vern Buchanan, and about certain issues. But you see that all the time where individuals are quick to run off on Facebook and run their mouths, but they won't take the extra step to write. So many few people do write that when these guys do get an email or do get a snail mail through the snail mail system there, they pay a lot more attention. And it always amazes me how one person can write in and say, this is bugging me. Next thing you know, they're putting out a new ordinance, they're changing the rules, they're acting on one person making a comment. And unnecessarily, on most of them, it's unnecessary. I'll look at it and I'll say, why the hell are they doing that? So let's go to the screen, and this was interesting. The backstory. There's Hollick there, right there. Look at him, and he's next to. Let's see. I don't know who that is next to. That's Hines right there. But they're all the county commissioners and stuff are there. Basically, this guy speaking is the doctor. and what's his name? Jervey, William H. Jervey. The Venice Library is going to be named after him. He gave them $1 million endowment. Here's the sticker. Hullock was pissed. They found out during a council meeting, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that the city library was going to be named after this guy. The county never approached the city of Venice. They never said a word to him. They never had any input on the naming. They didn't do anything. And I know it's like one of the main issues there with the city. And the city and the county are always butting heads, man, over stuff like this. But there they are doing this shovel thing. And now the whole library is a whole different story to me, folks. And I got to tell you, I go into this city bought a building for $1 million, and Hollick said because it's a great deal and we got such a great rate, we need to buy it. Blah blah blah. What are we gonna do with it? No idea. We're just gonna buy it. Okay, that makes no sense, but okay. And in the emails, you'll see them talking about, well, we could turn it into 10 parking spaces or something like that. I'm like, okay, that still doesn't make sense. It's my money, but go ahead and spend it frivolously. Ends up, they closed down the main library due to black mold, and it's an issue that was out there, and it's an issue that everybody ignored and didn't pay attention to. Next thing you know, the county closes it down, and the city acts surprised. Now they're putting out, $20 million to build a new library. Here's the thing. I go into that temporary library, and hardly anyone's in there. I don't know if it's wise to spend $20 million, and I know a lot of you guys want your library, but before it was torn down, the problem could have been remedied if the politicians would have taken the appropriate action. They could have solved the issue for far less. And B, I'm just not seeing a lot of people in the temporary library. And if they're not in there, why am I spending $20 million to build this new state-of-the-art library? I don't get it. But what do I know? All right, what about you guys? Hey, now there you go. Cindy, thank you. Hi, Cindy. Coyote, I'm going to play this video. I thought it was interesting, and some of you, I don't even know if it got a lot of traction. I'd have to look at it, but I remember hearing a story in South Venice where a guy was walking his two little frou-frou dogs. A coyote came up, grabbed one of them away from him, and went running off. I have a coyote that's running rampant around here, and he's a big guy, big coyote. And my dogs escaped the other day, and I'm hoping they're not his food. Well, they're back in the house, so they weren't. But there's attacks on dogs and cats constantly. And I guess the issue is with this new thing, which we'll see in a second, they got spikes around the neck so that if the coyote comes to grab them around the neck, which is generally the neck chomp, they'll hit the spikes and back off. Who knows? So let's take a quick listen.
The attacks in St. Pete as more incidents and sightings are reported on social media.
Yeah, ABC Action News reporter Sean Daly says people are taking extreme measures now to keep their pets safe.
I started seeing horrible stories about cats going missing and small dogs, and that's when I became concerned. They'd be a tasty little tidbit, I think.
Hillary Hart has lived in the Old Northeast for almost 30 years. But not until recently has she armed her dogs, Toto and Mojo, against coyotes. That's right, coyote vests. Spikes around the throat, because that's where coyotes go for the kill.
They kind of look like super dogs, don't they? Like you guys are going to start flying away.
Coyote sightings and pets attacked are now a regular thing near Coffee Pot Bayou. St. Pete officials warn residents that coyotes here are most active at dusk and dawn. If you see one, make loud noises, throw rocks. It's called coyote hazing.
It was freaky.
Heidi Barty came face to face with one at night. She didn't haze. She was too weirded out.
Mangy fur. It was the ugliest looking thing. I wouldn't want my dog running around at night. After seeing that,
Hillary Hart does let her dogs run around her backyard, even when she's not home. But spiky coyote vests and all
right,
she
so
still works.
There we basically have it. You guys get the gist of it. They said around the neck is where the coyote's going to grab. I think the kill is usually here, but the spikes are on the neck. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe they take them by the neck. I don't know. But all seriousness, although that was funny, I wonder if my dogs would be tasty. It was humorous, right? Okay. I have seen coyotes. If you're in my area, I live in Pine Brook, and I've seen them right on Lucaya and what is that? Shai? I don't even remember. But huge coyote. I tried to get my videotape one time and running after him, but he got away. And I would say he was about as big as a German Shepherd, if not bigger. So they are around. It's their natural habitat. They do come out. I've seen this one coming home from the gym. I come home from the gym usually about 6:30 in the morning, and I've seen them, like I said, dusk to dawn. So it's something to be aware of with your pets, and maybe that is a good idea. In addition to that, they gave you some good ideas on what to do. What they call it, the coyote shooing? I don't even remember. Okay, but it was an interesting story. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, the protest. This was a protest up at Wendy's, and I think they redid this protest because the original one, I believe, it was raining. We've seen this protest before. It's basically protesting against, it's a migrant move, a rally for fair trade, and I don't even think it impacts it here. It's more of the farms that Wendy gets their produce from. I believe that's my understanding from it before. I could be wrong. If I am, let me know on here. I didn't listen to this video. I knew about the protest was going on, but I gotta tell you, I'm so sick and tired of these freaking protests. Memorial Hospital, I would have seen them. I went to see my mom. I saw my mom on Saturday. I should have gone on Sunday, and then I could have filmed this. She's over there in ICU. Right at the entrance of Sarasota Memorial. So yeah, they're out there protesting, and I believe it's about the farmers and where they get the produce at Wendy's. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This is spooktacular. It goes on at Selby Gardens. I think I shared it yesterday for the kids, and I'm going to cover something about Halloween in just a minute here, so you have a safe trick or treat. They're trying to create these environments to make it safer for the kids out there. I might as well cover it now. They do have tomorrow, if you're in Venice, I can't remember the time. Let me look real quick as I'm talking. Tomorrow in Venice, they have what we call the Halloween parade, and last year I filmed it. I don't know if I'm going to film it this year. I got to tell you, there were hundreds of kids there. It was packed, wall-to-wall kids, everywhere, kids. It's a good thing. They were out there for their candy, and basically what happens is you parade. You parade right down the middle of Venice Avenue, and you stop by and get candy from individuals. As you're walking down the parade route, they'll hand out candy, and then I believe you go trick-or-treating at the stores afterwards. So that's the Halloween Children's Parade. It is at 4 p.m. I just looked up real quick. So 4 p.m. Also on Dearborn tomorrow night, the 22nd annual Dearborn Street Halloween Safe Walk. My daughter went to that, and that's on historic Dearborn Street. She went last year, had a blast, thought it was great. So if you can make that, now that's in Inglewood. And then also, this is interesting. This is tonight. It's at 5:30. I don't normally promote businesses, but it's the Halloween 5K deck run, and I could have sworn I saw that they were giving away free daiquiris with that. I thought I read that somewhere. I don't drink daiquiris, but it's free. I'm there. I don't even know what I'll do with it, but it's free. I'm there. All right. But all seriousness, if you can make it to Venice tomorrow at 4 for the Halloween parade, again, I don't know if I'm going to do it live, but there are a ton of kids there. Betsy, the fire truck, was there, and basically they all meet at Centennial Park on the island, hundreds of kids. Then they start following the truck out. Usually the mayor and somebody else, a council member, will lead them. They were carrying some kind of flag, and they do a march down Venice Avenue. Might be worth your time. Get out there. Who knows? Okay. That's it on that Halloween. Whoops. Let me get you guys to the right page here. Okay. Haley Pilot. Oh, this was interesting. She was covering Longboat Key County lines. I didn't realize this. I knew that they were separated. Obviously, Manatee, Sarasota County, Longboat Key is separated by both. And now there's this move to get it all moved over to Sarasota. You might be asking, well, why not all over to Manatee? Because they pay double the property tax over there in Manatee. I didn't realize that. And so you'll have somebody that will live right here and a block over there in Manatee, But their property tax, according to this report, I believe they said is doubled just by living in Manatee County. Same services, same quality of life, everything's the same. Same city, Longboat, and they pay double the tax because they're in the Manatee County side. So there's this initiative now to get them to move it over to the Sarasota side of the house. And that's basically what Haley Pilot covers in that one. This was interesting. I don't know if anybody saw it. It was documents on that came out on Frank Beebe. Nothing that would exonerate him. He's a bad guy. He's going to jail for kidnapping. I think he got off on the attempted murder. There was like 18 different counts. What was interesting was this particular video. They're coming back and they have on video where the sheriffs are talking about, I don't know if we need to believe this old lady. Hey, she's not always honest. She lies. She exaggerates. And they're looking for reasons not to act in behalf of Frank Beebe. And I guess it correlates with the documentation that the Herald Tribune has. So I saw this video before the article. Otherwise, I would have put the article's link on there. So maybe I'll share the article with you guys and repost this video because it was interesting. And it goes with that whole thing: the boys in blue protecting themselves, one another. And I think that's one of the biggest issues out there. A lot of times I get a lot of harassment. Oh, you're anti-cop, which I'm not. I share a lot of pro-cop stuff. What I am anti is allowing bad behavior to go on. You're going to have bad apples. Police are not unique. They're not up on a pedestal where everybody's that's been screened out and they've gone through these rigorous testing and they're the best person around and they're never going to have a bad apple. It just doesn't happen. A lot of people don't want that job. A lot of people don't like to pay. And you're not going to get... Sometimes you're going to get bad apples. I believe the majority of them are good folks. And I can tell you, I have run-ins and I've gone off on police here because I'm one of those big guys that thinks when I know the law, I don't like it being violated. If I'm not doing something illegal, I'll challenge it. And I can be a dick. Let's say it. I can be a dick. And they stay real professional with me. And because I remember one guy, he was totally off. And I'm like, You are totally incorrect, and we went into this whole rigmarole. And I don't normally do that. Normally it's, hey, you got to take it. Yeah, no, I was speeding. I screwed up. And I'll go through. I'll get an attorney who will knock it off for me and all that good stuff. But the bottom line is there are some bad apples. And what I don't like is when the police don't take care of those bad apples. And you have to. And if you don't, then it fosters this attitude that you can go out and do anything you want, no matter if it's right or wrong, because you'll be covered with that blue code that exists out there. I remember a good example is a guy here, I think he was a sergeant in Venice, and he was sexually harassing another officer. When I put that out, everyone got up pissed. And it's like, well, wait a second. It's documented. There was an internal affairs. The guy got in trouble. He has his history, blah, blah, blah. All I'm doing is just showing you guys. Next thing you know, you hate police. Well, I hate police because I'm reporting a sexual harassment that he's done on a couple women officers. I hate police now. And that's what I deal with on a regular basis. But I remember that situation, and I remember what happened and the corrective action, and it was lenient. And it was, I think, the second or third infraction this guy's had. And it's stuff like that this guy won't learn a lesson. He's back out there. He's, you got to take harsh steps against these people. It's like me. If I have an employee that's just screwing up, if I just slap him on the wrist and say, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's going to continue. And you got to take harsh action against them so that it doesn't continue. And that's enough of that rant. I tell you what, I can just rant. Okay. I see, it says that I have messages. It's weird. This program I use, it says I have messages up there, but I'm only seeing one. So don't think I'm ignoring you unless this program's totally off. Yeah, see, I see one where Cindy says hi, but up here it's saying I have 3 messages. It doesn't tell me what they are. It just says 3 messages. I don't know what's on there. Unless the person is blocking me and I can't see what they're saying. Oh boy. All right, let's see what else we got here. Crime Stoppers, I put this out every once in a while just to refresh your memory. Usually it's updated a little bit more. This one hasn't been updated in 2 weeks, but these are still active crimes that are out there. You know, one involving an armed robbery on Fruitville. I'm surprised that nobody knows who these people in Venice are, because it's so small, and I got a huge amount of Venice people on here. You had this individual, unless she's from out of town, and she's stolen. They actually had a great shot of her. This guy, good luck finding this guy. That's, I believe, the sheriff's office. Yeah, he was. Here's another one, great shot. This girl, this was in Venice. I'm surprised none of these individuals are being found. Okay. I saw this on again today, so I thought I'd share it again. And it's what they did is, it wasn't this particular one, it was another newscast, and they showed how the guy hazing. See, I'm seeing Cindy's comments. Maybe I'm blocked by the other people. It showed how guy was using these contacts, and he actually went blind. Why someone would put those in their eyes is beyond me. I wouldn't, but it's detrimental that you don't put it in. They're costume contacts. I've never seen them. Hopefully you're not letting your kids put them in. It goes in line, you know, you've seen a lot of warnings about this, and then a lot about the candy that is spice. That I would never do that to my eyes. I don't know what these people are thinking. Volunteers, they went out, they cleaned up a lot of Venice. One thing that was interesting, I met a lady yesterday. She came down to the jetty. She saw I was down there filming, so she came down and introduced herself. She was part of this cleanup, and interesting enough, though, she said she finished cleaning, but there weren't enough people picking up, and they had to leave a bunch of stuff they cleaned up on the side, and she went back by later that night, and it was still there, and she's like, you know, it's so windy out here today, I wonder if it's blowing everywhere. So I guess the amount of volunteers was great, maybe better coordination on the cleanup of it and the pickup of it. That wasn't 100% there, according to this lady. Breast cancer awareness. This covers how a lady has conquered breast cancer, and she was able to ring the bell and all that good stuff. So exciting stuff there. Coyote hazing. That's it. Thank you, Cindy. Just to cover some national stuff that's out there, because everybody's so focused on MSM. I've said this before. You can leave now. It's national time, but basically, there's so much MSM has 30 minutes, and if you minus out the commercials, let's say 20, maybe 15 minutes of time to give you news that's on a national level. A lot of that is propaganda. It's what they want to push out. It's ideologically left or right, mostly left, and so I try to put out other information because you don't see it. One story like the Black Plague that's out there, that's spreading. That's airborne from Madagascar. I still can't see anything here on TV about it. I don't understand why that's not an important story. Russia. You know, Manafort was arrested today. He went in, turned himself in, but guess what? It wasn't Russia related. No, tax evasion, which he may or may not have done. But I guarantee you, watching the news tonight, they're going to be like the news that you see on the internet. They will not let you know that it wasn't Russian related. They want to leave that perception. Russia. I hate that guy. I think it's channel WWSB, and then 6:30 comes on. Dave Miller or whatever his name is. Russia. And I got to turn it off. I have to find the remote and turn it off. Hepatitis. This is an outbreak that actually was in San Diego. It was really bad. And now the outbreak has spread to Michigan. No stopping this regional epidemic. Not sure how it's regional. If it was in San Diego, now it's Michigan. Have you heard about that? I haven't heard much about it. I mean, it's bad in San Diego. It was getting bad, folks, with that. Haven't heard much about it. There's questions if Mueller is discredited with his Manafort prosecution due to his involvement with different things. The dossier, not really him. His is more uranium one, because from my understanding, he's the one that delivered the uranium. This is scary, guys. This is North Korea, and how they're making unusual wartime preparations. They're doing tests. They're doing drills in case there's an attack. You got Mattis out there. He's saying, look, all options are on the table, including an attack. I'm really getting nervous about this. This is real concerning what's happening over in North Korea. There was 60 Minutes last night. Not sure if you guys saw it. 60 Minutes came on, and they covered one of the bombs that he shot off. And they said, basically, what he did is he shot it real high, didn't go as far. But they looked at the bomb and the trajectory and everything and said it could reach the west coast of Florida, California, maybe beyond. One of the concerning things were that a lot of the parts were Western when they shouldn't be, because we've had bans and stuff forever, right? The other thing is, within a few months, he should. I guess what's limiting him is when the rocket goes up and you got the re-entry, the device that's re-entering can't withstand the heat that it is exposed to. But they think he's a few months off from that. And once it can withstand that, then he could load it with a nuclear bomb and just shoot it off. The accuracy isn't there, so it'll land anywhere, but I don't think he cares. As long as it lands somewhere in the United States, mainland United States, the guy would be thrilled. The other thing that nobody's talking about is on the subs, they have, I believe, and I don't remember the exact count, somewhere around 80, 70 something. Not all of them can essentially come here with a nuclear bomb, all right? I think only 10, if memory serves me right. They can make it close enough to our shores. They've illustrated the other day, not the other day, a couple months ago, that they can shoot a ballistic missile from a sub. About 10 of them that they have can do this. They can nuclear tip it and shoot it right here into the United States. But you don't hear about any of this stuff. And that's concerning. Let's see. What else we got here on the national level? GOP tax bill shrouded in secrecy, which it is. You're not hearing a lot about it. You're hearing there's a deal, there's a plan. You hear very little about it. They're just as bad. Republicans are just as bad as Democrats. You know, you had Nancy Pelosi crying about we can't read the Obamacare. We don't know what's in it. They're not letting us. Well, I remember when not Obamacare, the new Trump healthcare Republican healthcare plan when they were rolling it out. I remember her sitting there saying the same thing that, you got to wait until it passes to see what's in it when Obamacare came out. Republicans and Democrats are bad for our country. We need to just drain the swamp, all of them. Mom who beat her girl for incorrect Bible verse gets prison time. I can see that happening. Who the hell? You didn't read the verse right, the Bible verse. I got to beat the hell out of you. Mighty Christian of you. I don't know. Is she Christian? I don't even know what she is. All right. There's Manafort. 12 counts against him. Primarily tax evasion. Obama. The Obama campaign paid some of Clinton and the DNC's hired Fusion GPS work, which is the fake dossier that essentially fake dossier that this guy from Brenton, MI15 or MI5, whatever it is over there, was working with Russia. Russia was feeding them erroneous information, like Trump liked women to pee on him. And they were using that to try to discredit Trump so that Clinton could win the election. FBI used that same information to lead them on their investigation that Trump's campaign was colluding with the Russians. In addition, there's so many issues with it. The FBI was paying this secret agent from England after the Democrats lost, after Hillary lost. They started paying him for the dossier information. It's crazy. How about this guy? The media's out there, Kevin Spacey. He molests a 14-year-old. That's called pedophilia. That's a pedophile, guys. There's no sugarcoating it. But what's he do? He says, but I'm gay. And now everybody's okay with it. You're not hearing anything about the pedophilia. He's gay. Oh, the guy's gay. Yeah. Forget about the 14-year-old. Yeah, okay. How about this? George Washington becomes the latest victim. His own university, or his own church. Church or university? Can't remember. They're pulling out his bus. What was it, Lise? Lise? Oh, she's just laughing. I don't know what she's doing in there. The wife. The wife is like a sideshow here. All right, let's see. How about this? Hitler. There's the actual photo. This came out of the CIA files that were released on the Kennedy thing. This guy came out in 1955 and said Hitler was in South America, Argentina, all that good stuff. I've met with him. You got all the documents. If you hit that page, you'll see the documents. There's an actual picture that he said he took with him in 1955. Many of the SS soldiers, many of the individuals went over to South America, and this is where, basically that's the real document on my right, maybe I think your left, and he just talks about how he's met Hitler over there, how he's taken a photograph with him in Colombia. He left Colombia for Argentina around 55. Chasing Hitler starts its third season, and I'm actually missing the interview with, the star that's in there. He's the Ultimate Fighting Champion. He's in there, but he's a star of the Chasing Hitler. He's interviewing right now on the show I was going to listen to, and I guess it's Explosive, which is going to tie in great with this information. And they often find a lot of information out there that's related to Hitler being alive. Did you know the skull that they took, that they said was Hitler's, Russia did a DNA test on it, and guess what? It was actually a woman's skull. But you don't hear too much about that, do you? No, you don't. Alcohol might be worse for your brain than weed. I can tell you it's worse on your body than weed. Alcoholics. You ever seen an alcoholic when they're 56 years old? They look like they're 90. Externally and internally, they're probably just as bad. Parents pull child from school after claiming daughter ate. Confined to a cell-like room. This is depressing. Reading some of this news. 2 refs refused to work high school game after anthem protest. Good for them. Good for them. Did you guys listen to my rant on the anthem and these big whiny football players? I did it this weekend. If you didn't, shame on you. Good for those refs. Good for them. Proud of them. Okay. Why is the school allowing that? That's the biggest question. How about this guy, poor kid? Autistic 9-year-old boy cuffed. Brought to jail because he was defending himself against bullies. What the heck is this world coming to? The growing debt. You know what's bad about this growing debt, and will America's prosperity be completely wiped out? With this growing debt, the issue is that whole petrodollar. Saudi Arabia is dumping the petrodollar. I'm here to tell you, they're dumping the petrodollar. The Chinese are saying, hey, look, use the yen. You don't need the yen? We'll convert it to gold for you. Husband and wife pled guilty to sexually abusing their toddler. Oh, God. 15 years. How does this happen? What kind of society are we living in? Man punches woman sitting with black man after White Lives Matter rally. Is this depressing or is it me? Pelosi openly mocks the GOP for constantly losing negotiations. I don't know why that made me laugh. All right. California dad who admitted drugging, raping, and then killing his daughter takes back his guilty plea. All right. That's just too depressing, guys. I had to get off of it. I don't know what the heck's going on in the news out there today. All right. So you can catch some of that news on my uncensoredreport.com. I do put it all on the website page. The uncensoredreport.com, actually, if you go to that homepage, has local and national, international news on the homepage. I've shown it before. I can do it real quick. When you go there, what I do is I have it set up so that you can get specific news for your area. If you don't want to hear about Sarasota, you just want to hear about Venice, that's fine. All you do, see, right here it's got everything. If you just want to hear about Venice, just come up here and say news on Venice. That's all I want. If you want national news, if you want my videos or any of this stuff, you just click up there. And it'll tell you this is Venice related type news. Okay, anything that's impacted by Venice. And it's that simple. Oh, I just noticed that you guys weren't even on that screen, but that's how you would do it if you were on that screen. All right, I think that's it. I got a ton of stuff to do, a ton of work. I'm a busy man. No time for this. Dennis Wheeler, what happened on the island yesterday? It was blocked out. Yeah, Dennis, you're a little late to the story, buddy. Dennis wasn't following the scoop last night. They blocked it off. Nobody knows why. You know what? I got to check Dennis and see who was arrested with VPD yesterday. Some kind of investigation. All the city put out was that they were sealing it off for an investigation for 2 hours. The city, as of now, let me check email right now, has not put out anything in regards to that. And I forgot when I went into... no, the city hasn't put out anything yet. when I forgot to check when I checked the arrest to see if there was anything that happened in Venice. But you know, an investigation doesn't necessarily mean arrest. And the Mr. Bellbomb would know himself, wouldn't he? Old Dennis Weaver. Go back 35 years with him. Good guy. Dennis, I got a funny ass story to tell. No, I can't tell it. All right, guys, I am done. I'm out of here. Everybody have a great day. This has been. I'll see what I can find out. Everybody have a great day. This has been Frankie with The Scoop.